All right, we're good. Cool. All right. Welcome inside here at PNC Park. Andrew Destin with our very own Jason Mackey, of course, as always. Some breaking news here, of course, at PNC Park a few hours back that you had on the Bryan Reynolds front with the contract extension. Jason, you and I were both in the clubhouse here just moments ago.
Yeah.
Wanted to get your thoughts first on the contract itself, what that means for the Pirates, and then just kind of the vibe around the clubhouse and how these guys kind of responded to it.
Pretty fun, man. It's pretty fun. I've been around some dead times with this team, and this is not one of them. I mean, we're talking 16-7 record, Dodgers in town, a lot of excitement. This is the most crowded I've ever seen the clubhouse, and we're talking about the first ever $100 million contract in Pirates history. Really big. It's really big. I'm happy for Reynolds. I'm happy this got done. I'm a little surprised that it got done right now, frankly, with him being away on bereavement leave. As you guys know, Bryan Reynolds is not physically here. He cannot physically be here. He'll be here tomorrow to talk about the contract and all that stuff. But I mean, this has been such a journey, right? I don't know. It's a weird feeling for me because, like, you know, I was the one that broke the trade request thing. I've had so many conversations with people throughout spring training and the regular season starting about, like, is this going to happen? Is this not going to happen? And we're finally here. And they made a move that is the right move for them. I think players are buying into it. I think it says a lot about how the Pirates are currently constituted with Bryan Hayes and Reynolds. The clubhouse is a good place to be, man. It really is a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you bring up the Bryan Hayes point there too. Obviously, you know, the extension that he's already under that goes for 8 years, $70 million. I mean, these are financial investments that are sizable, right?
Yeah.
In today's baseball, which obviously without the salary cap, teams can spend as much as they want.
Yeah.
But up until this point, the Pirates have been one of the few teams that haven't had a $100 million contract. So you combine that with Hayes, it feels to me as if
your Oakland A's are a team that's not, right?
They're one of the three that's not. They
Yeah.
have the Royals and I'm forgetting one other here, the White Sox.
The White Sox have not had a $100 million contract.
No, yeah, they've come close with a couple of the Cuban signings and guys
Wow.
like that.
Okay.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, there's not many teams that haven't done this. So this feels like this is setting the kind of precedent that this team, they care. And this is a win now, and not just that, win for the immediate as well as long-term future too.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time thinking about this, Andrew, the past couple of days, like with the Pirates being somewhat good again and operating differently. And I've been one of the people banging the drum saying, like, they are doing things differently. And I can talk until I'm blue in the face, and I don't think people care as much as when they demonstrate what they're doing and how they're doing it differently with their actions. And playing good baseball, winning games obviously matters. Doing business the right way also matters, right? Like you can't, there's nothing I can say that's going to make anybody feel any better about this team than if they spend $107 million on Bryan Reynolds. And it's the right move. It's what they should have done. I don't know if the contract will work out or not. I believe it will. But, I mean, you look at what they need to do to keep a competitive team here, keep a good player here, keep a guy that fans want to see here. I mean, you're sending a message with this. You absolutely are. You're sending a message to your fans saying, we're serious. You can believe in us. We're doing things differently. We've never done things like this before, which, again, that's how they're operating. It's been a completely different direction for the Pirates, but I think it carries so much more weight when you see things like 8 years, $106.75 million.
Right, and that number itself, I mean, I want to ask you about the contract itself. It seems to be, I mean, from my first reaction when the news broke with it, that it was a contract that seemed pretty favorable for the Pirates, but also was fair market value, you could say, for Reynolds, given the nature of it, buying out some of those arbitration years. From your standpoint, do you agree with the assessment? Is this a fair contract? Did one side win here? What's your kind of general takeaway from it?
I love it. And by the way, we did not coordinate these shirts, but I keep looking at the screen and I'm like, man, I'm glad I have a sweater here or something. We look like Twinkies, but no, I love it, Andrew. I really do. Like, I don't think it's a stupid contract for the Pirates by any stretch. I like that it's a little bit backloaded. Fine. I would hope that their payroll is in a different place by then. And honestly, it protects the Pirates a little bit because I know the perception is going to be out there about them potentially trading Reynolds. People are going to think they're going to trade. Well, okay, if let's say this goes south, unfortunately, but Bryan Reynolds is a productive player, he's probably still going to be worth that dollar amount. And then if you have to get out from under the end of the deal, like if your team has gone south and Reynolds is like, it's not obnoxious. It's not an untradeable amount of money. So anyway, I think it's a very smart contract for the Pirates. I like the way it's structured. And I don't think Bryan's getting, taking too much of a haircut here either. I mean, this is a very good deal for him based on what he's done. I understand wanting the opt out, but that just doesn't make sense. He didn't have the leverage to pull that off, in my opinion. But how can you sort of shove aside $107 million, right, in a place where you want to play?
Yeah, type of life-changing money in the clubhouse. Maybe they'll have to get a dinner or two for some of the guys.
Yeah, I would say so. I asked Bednar something about that. Like, are you guys gonna, wring the last little bit of money out of him? He's like, yeah, I think we'll figure something out. And I said, David, that buys a lot of IC Light, my friend. He goes, yes, it does.
If anybody who likes that, we know it's David.
Yeah.
But, one other contract that kind of came to mind, and some people have made this comparison, was Brandon Nimmo with the New York Mets, and just kind of the contract that he got. A larger dollar amount obviously didn't buy out the years of arbitration that it did with Reynolds. But to me, it feels like, I think the numbers with Nimmo's, it's $137 million was the contract he got.
Yep.
So, this isn't showing any hometown favorism, but to me, it seems like Reynolds is the more valuable player, just given what he provides to the field, or if anything, he's a comparable, similar player. It seems like it's a good market value in that sense, just comparing it to another.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, I've watched a lot of Bryan Reynolds, and to me, when he's on, he's like a top 10 national, top 10 in the National League. He's going to be there. In 21, he got MVP votes. I was one of them who voted for him. But you could look at those numbers, WRC plus, OPS plus, WAR. You could get as complicated and as nerdy as you want to. He stacks up with some of the best hitters in Major League Baseball when he is consistently good for that period of time. I think that's in there again. Last year, he had a lousy first 2 months and had to wear that the entire season. Up his OPS, I think it was up over 850. And he's been a little quiet recently, but we've seen it at the beginning of this season when we saw it for periods of the final 4 months last year, what Reynolds can be when he's on, man. And he's an elite player. He's an elite hitter. He's a Gold Glove finalist. To me, he's not a Gold Glove finalist consistently in center field. He can be in left.
Yeah.
I really like him in left. I like him in left here. I think he understands it. You put Reynolds in left field here for a long, long time, and I don't know, put him next to Sawinski, Bay. I'm not sure it matters. Move somebody else out there. They've got a lot of options, but offensively, he is, in my opinion, a top 10 in the NL type of hitter. What do you think?
No, absolutely. And I think the move from center to left, while some naysayers would say this diminishes his value, that no, it's no longer a 25 homer threat in center field, I think that's kind of missing the mark here, because what this allows with this signing is, to your point, left field, this is probably, of the three spots you can play in the outfield, left is certainly easier than right here, given the Clemente wall. So just from that standpoint, this is a spot where he can excel as a former center fielder. There, be a plus defensive left fielder. And at whatever juncture that he, declines defensively, it's not going to be when he's 42 years old. This contract runs until 36, 37 years old, depending on when he decides to opt out. You can still be a viable defender. And even if not, the way that it's now structured in the National League, where you can have a designated hitter, he can still provide value in that standpoint. High average guy. To me, it's a no-brainer. I think defensively, he still has a ton left in him, even if it's not as an everyday center fielder, and could be a plus defensive left fielder for a long time.
100%. And you're getting an elite bat. You're absolutely getting an elite bat. I sort of flip around the Bryan Hayes contract extension, where you're paying for an elite glove. And an elite glove is going to net less money-wise than an elite bat. But that's what you're getting here. And I think what you're also getting, if you're Bob Nutting, the Pirates, and you're looking to grow this thing, right? You're looking to take what they have this season and add on, and you want to build that payroll. And right now, some of these veteran guys have done a really good job helping them sort of dig out in the immediate future or in the short term. Well, you got to think long term too. And right now, Pittsburgh is going to, the way they're playing, with the way they're constituted, you can have Bryan Reynolds here, he's going to be here for a long time. You're going to have Bryan Hayes here, he's going to be here for a long, long time. I look at it and think, okay, what if they get Cruz done now? What if they get Mitch Keller done now? What if you get that? That's stability that I think a lot of franchises strive for. And if the Pirates are on the cusp of doing that, don't even worry about it for now. We're in the season, play the games, revisit it in the offseason. But what if they would sign Cruz next year? I'm not trying to push the envelope too much, but I'm trying to push it a little bit. I love the team build that is happening here, and it should be very, very good at reasonable numbers for what's going on and making this a very desirable place to play. One that Reynolds loves, by the way.
Right. No, and you bring up Cruz, and I think that's an interesting point, too, because a lot of arbitration years remaining for him. He's obviously got the significant injury right now, sidelining him for a number of months. But at the beginning of the season, we really saw him start to turn a little bit of a corner there. You bring up his name. To me, he's the next logical candidate as the guy that you want to lock up. Is that something that you kind of have to wait off until he gets healthy, gets a full season under his belt, wait till 2024? Like, how would you approach that?
I mean, I'd make the bet if I was the Pirates. Like, I'd go try to see if I can get him at a discount.
Yep.
Like, isn't that the move? If you can say, like, look, O'Neill, we've got Bryan locked up. We've got Bryan locked up. This is what we're trying to do here, and we want you to be a part of it. And this is a lot of money. Would I try to get him on a discount? Of course I would. You're trying to save every dollar you can. I don't begrudge them for that. And maybe O'Neill looks at this and is like, man, I only have less than a year of service, and I've got this injury, and this is what I can be set for. With that, like, small sample size, yeah, let's go. Or I could also look at it if I'm O'Neill and I say, man, I think I'm good right now. I'm just going to take my salary, let me play 162. I'll probably go 30, 40. I'm going to bet on myself. Like, I wouldn't begrudge the guy for doing that either. But if I'm the Pirates, like, I'm 100% trying to have that conversation. And I'm trying to have a conversation with Mitch Keller too. I mean, I really am. I think Mitch is a hugely important part of this thing. He's a bona fide ace. I think he's proven that. And I think he really wants to be here too, along with Bryan. So yeah, I would expect this to not be the last of its kind.
Yeah. And is there any hesitancy on the pitcher front, just given the direction the team's shown?
Zero.
Zero.
What about you?
Yeah,
would you do it?
Same camp. I mean, I think
it's not our money. Screw it.
Yeah. You got to go position players first. I think that's natural, and given the minor league arms that they've got waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
But with Keller, you've seen that progress this year. That I think you can make that commitment if you want him. It's probably not going to be to the same degree as these other guys, but I mean, we've seen the Giants just lock up Logan Webb, and that was for a relatively team-friendly deal. It's pitchers are probably going to be taken care of last year and to a shorter tenure. But I think Keller's a logical candidate. He's made the improvement. He's still got the velocity, obviously, at the level that they'd like him to be at. He's still young. Keller seems like a logical guy.
He does, Andrew. And I mean, I think it was his first time through arbitration this offseason. And okay, you're going to buy out his remaining 2 ARB years and buy out 2 free agent years, something like that. If you can get that done, I don't know what that final number would look like, but I mean, again, you're trying to set a foundation and show people that you're serious. And I will give the Pirates credit. I don't want to look past what just happened or what is in the process of happening. They deserve a lot of credit for getting this done. I really do believe this changes how so many people think about them. And based on what I said earlier, like, I can say whatever, you can say whatever. It doesn't mean nearly as much as them making a deal like this. And you're getting people to buy in. And I think that's going to be with fans. I think that's going to be with media. I think it's going to be with Mitch Keller, with O'Neill Cruz, or Anzi Contreras, whatever. But it's the right move, and I'm glad they made it.
It's only April.
It's only April.
This is a newsy month we've had so far. A lot going on.
Dude, I was thinking about that. Like, every single homestand every single home game we've had, like, there's been something.
Yeah.
There's just not going to the park and whatever. It's like, all right, we got a contract today, Tomzik tomorrow. The Dodgers are in town. Like, it's been a busy one, but I would much rather have this than oh God, I don't know what they're right about today. No thanks.
Yeah, Bryan's given us a lot. All these Pirates really are, and you can keep up with all that coverage right here on our YouTube channel or at post-gazette.com. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and for Jason, Mackey, and myself, thank you guys, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you liked the video, please like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you enjoyed it on Apple Podcasts, please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. For 6 months of digital access to post-gazette.com for just $6, click the link down in the description.